What does this image make you feel? How about this? Or this? Do you want to know what it made me feel? How about I tell you a story? A story about my first breakup. Back in 12th grade, I fell in love for the first time. The kind of love that feels light, pure, and makes the world seem softer. It was innocent, beautiful, and unbreakable. But after a year, it ended. We had our reasons, spoken and unspoken, but letting go still broke me. I felt sick in my own skin. My thoughts were too loud. My chest, too heavy. I had to get out. So I put on my headphones and walked anywhere. I wandered into places I didn't even know existed. An abandoned hospital, an old building, even my high school at night. And strangely, those empty places brought peace. They felt quiet, still, almost like they understood me. Not scary, just familiar. Back then, I thought I was just running. But now I know. I was finding myself in a liminal space. So what exactly is liminal space? According to Wikipedia, in internet aesthetics, liminal spaces are empty or abandoned places that feel eerie, lonely, and often surreal. They're usually transitional places, tied closely to the idea of liminality, which means being in between two states. These kinds of images have exploded in popularity in the past few years. You've probably seen them. Old offices with all the furniture gone, school hallways stripped bare, playgrounds under streetlights at night, spaces that are supposed to be full of life, but instead, they're silent, standing still in time, and looks a bit off. And yet, for some reason, they hit us. Why do these ordinary places make us feel so strongly? To answer that, we first have to understand what liminal really means. The word comes from the Latin limon, meaning threshold, like a doorway, something you pass through. A liminal space exists between 2 points, neither here nor anywhere. Think about it like this. If graduating high school is point A and starting college is point B, then that long, strange summer in between, that is a liminal space in time. But what about something more visual? Something more physical? This is why hallways show up so often in liminal space photos. A hallway doesn't really have a purpose on its own. It just connects one place to another. If the elevator is point A and your hotel room is point B, then the hallway is what's in between. It's not a place where you're meant to stop. It's just something you pass through. But it's not just hallways. Think about a photo of an empty indoor swimming pool. Maybe you've never been there before, but somehow, it still feels familiar. Your brain suddenly remembers things. How the pool tiles felt under your feet. How cold the water was. How strong the chlorine smelled. You can almost hear the echoes, even though the place is completely silent. Liminality plays directly into how our brains work, and a big part of that comes from something called the Uncanny Valley. It's our mind's built-in alarm system. a way of spotting things that are almost normal, but not quite. The uncanny valley is usually talked about in terms of faces, like when a robot or animation looks nearly human. But there's something off. In the eyes, the skin, the way it moves, and it creeps us out. Because our brain recognizes the mistake, even if we can't explain it. But this idea doesn't just apply to people. It applies to spaces, interior design, even digital environments. A hallway where every door is the same. A room with furniture placed too perfectly. A stairwell that leads nowhere. Some places look normal until you stare too long. Then your brain quietly says, something's off. That subtle wrongness is what makes a liminal space stick. It doesn't shock you. It just feels wrong enough to linger. So ask yourself, how can a single image stir so much emotion? Just by existing. There's a kind of silence that doesn't feel calm. It feels heavy, like the walls are holding something in, like the air itself is holding its breath.
You walk into a hallway that looks normal. The lights buzz softly, and the floor is clean. But your brain says something's wrong. That's when it starts. Not fear of what's there, but fear of what's missing. You look for signs of life,
but there's nothing.
And that silence begins to echo. It starts with a quiet unease. Nothing obvious, just tension that won't go away. You tell yourself it's fine, but your body knows better. Then comes isolation. You're not just alone.
You're cut off?
Like you've slipped into a place that wasn't meant to be found. Then dread, not fear of something chasing you, but of not knowing why you're here, or what this place even is. And finally, disconnection. Time stops. Logic fades. You're not in the past or future. You're just stuck. No threat. No monster. Just you. Space that shouldn't exist. And that's what makes it stay with you. There's nothing to be feared of. Nothing to make you panic. But it's simply missing something. Just like you are. There's absolutely no danger. And no reason to run. But something in you says, you just don't belong here. And the worst part, you can't explain it. You just can feel it in your bones. Because that's the hollow feeling. And once it finds you,
it stays for good.
And how can we talking about liminal space without mentioning the Backrooms?
The Backrooms started with a single image. Yellow walls, old carpet, buzzing lights. There is no imminent threads, just a space that feels wrong in a way you can't explain. It's not scary because something's there. It's scary because nothing is. Just hallway after hallway of silence that somehow feels familiar. And under that shadows or in that corners of the hall, only God know what is lurking. Watching us. Waiting for an opportunity just to jump out and tear us to pieces. That's the power of the Backrooms. It turns unease, isolation, and disconnection into a whole world. One where the fear isn't danger. It's the fear of the unknown. Later, people on the internet started adding to it. New levels, like the Endless City or the Poolrooms. Each version added its own monsters, its own lore. And while that made the Backrooms more exciting, it also pulled it further away from the unique vibes that made it stand out in the first place. Liminal space isn't just something you see. Sometimes, you can even hear it. For me, nothing captures it like Everywhere at the End of Time by The Caretaker. A haunting 6-part album that follows memory fading through dementia.
The music starts clear, then slowly breaks into static and fragments, just like memories slipping away. Pieces like It's Just a Burning Memory, Quiet Dusk Coming Early, and Delay Tibet hit especially hard. When I listen to this masterpiece, I feel this deep and aching nostalgia, not for something I lost, but for a life I never lived. In my mind, I'm dancing with my love in a candlelit ballroom in the 1972. It's certainly not real, but it feels more true than anything that is. And in that moment, the music becomes a liminal space caught between memory and imagination, the past and the present. Liminality can also be experienced through video games. And one of the most iconic examples is Garry's mod. Originally made as a sandbox using the Source engine, it doesn't have a story, goals, or direction. Just an empty world to explore. And somehow, that emptiness is exactly what makes it feel so unsettling. The old graphics, the flat lighting, and the echo of your footsteps in huge abandoned maps, it creates this strange yet hollow feeling. You're completely alone, but it never really feels that way. There's this constant quiet sense that something might be watching. That if you turn the wrong corner or step into the wrong room, something could be waiting. But it never is. Nothing ever happens. And that's what makes it effective. The dread doesn't come from danger, but from the feeling that there could be. Garry's mod wasn't designed to scare you, but its outdated, empty world becomes a digital liminal space.
One that quietly lingers.
Liminal spaces tap into a strange kind of nostalgia, not for a place, but rather for a feeling. It awakens in our mind what we thought was long lost. A hallway, a song, even a dim corridor in a game. They're not just places. They're quiet thresholds that are pulling us back into a version of ourselves we forgot. The sudden itch for a glimpse of the past. The sense of almost remembering. That's nostalgia at its core. So why not embrace it? After all, from the moment we're born until the day we die, we're always in motion, always becoming, and always in between. Life itself is a liminal journey. So maybe the question isn't how to escape the in-between. Maybe it's how to find beauty in it.